I said to all of you viewers of Equinox Television, thank you so much for being with us on this other edition of the news today, Monday. Our major stories this evening, viewers, few days to the start of the Africa Cup of Nations. A strong delegation of Equinox TV has touched down at the Mohammed V International Airport in Morocco for the sports jamboree. The Equinox TV team was given a warm reception or welcome by the local organizing committee. Our special envoy to Morocco, Manjikan Gabriel, is there, and he'll tell us more about their arrival in this news edition in Morocco. Plus, vigilance on the highway as road accidents are now recurrent across the national territory, especially during this festive period, after 8 persons at least died in Tico in the southwest region last week. Today, several others lost their lives in another road accident which happened this time around in Bomono. What measures to reduce the bloodshed on our highways, especially during this festive season? We are attempting and start still in this edition of the news. Viewers, those are our lead stories. Stay with us for details and more in just a moment. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us. Always thank you for the confidence. It's the festive season and road accidents have been recurrent in major highways across the national territory. A tragic accident occurred in Bomono that was today in the Bombari subdivision of the Mongo division. We are in the littoral. That was after a motorcycle or a motor taxi driver was killed and by a truck. According to local residents, the truck, which was going to the west region, lost control and hit a commercial motorbike rider with 2 passengers on board. Cedric Chakutio has details.
A commercial motorbike rider lost his life after he was hit by a lorry in Bomono, the Bombari subdivision of the Mongo division, a town located on the western outskirts of Douala. According to local residents, the lorry coming from the west lost his brakes and hit the commercial motorbike rider who was parked on one side of the road. To the inhabitants of this locality, the cause of the accident may be the result of the lack of bumps on this stretch. Alerted of the situation, gendarme officers arrived at the scene of the tragedy. The body was taken to a nearby morgue. As for the driver of the lorry, he is actually in detention.
We will be talking more on that in the second part of the news. Meantime, the president of the Cameroon Bar Council, Barrister Mba Eric Mba, has said peace does not exist in Cameroon in its entirety. Rather, there exist 2 more arrests, killings, and misery. He was speaking on Sunday's program, La Vérité en Face on Equinox Television, in which he paid allegiance or homage to Barrister Yondo Mandengi Black as well as Anise Ekane. Innocent as a report.
Every day, Cameroon keeps drifting away from its motto, Peace, Work, Fatherland. According to Barrister Mba Eric Mba, president of the Cameroon Bar Council, exploding conflicts, high unemployment rates, repression, arbitrary arrest and detentions, killings, he says, are enough proof Cameroonians are living in a dungeon.
Is that what our motto says?
One thing that has become frequent today is the trial of civilians in military courts under the pretext of the anti-terrorism law. Barrister Mba Eric Mba is pissed off by this.
So to say that that law that was there has been abrogated, yes, it's been abrogated. But what is the situation today? Is it too different? Oh yes, no. We are living in a more preoccupying, a more scaring situation than it was in the 72. Because this law on terrorism is vexatious, is the most heinous thing that I think exists. Because civilians are not supposed to be judged in military courts. They are supposed to be judged in ordinary courts. Even if they use arms in the discharge of their crimes or offenses, then they should be a military assessor. That's what we think.
It is under such a law that Manedem president and fighter for change in Cameroon, Anise Ekane, was arrested in Douala to die in detention in Yaoundé.
When somebody is an opposition leader and when he is being arrested, the state needs to be very conscious to know that if anything happens with him, the first accusation will be that it is the state that has killed him because he was opposing him. Even in our ordinary life, there are basic canons that are respected even during arrest. Quite often when it is done, they say it's administrative arrest, it's administrative detention. I wait to see the code of conduct or rules that governs administrative arrest or detention. We have one single code, the Criminal Procedure Code. That is the only code that contains the procedure, the conditions under which somebody is arrested.
No sign of easy forgiveness could be seen in his eyes, given that the Biya regime knew he was severely sick and could die with the slightest negligence.
Dans cette cas-là, non. Ce n'est pas une bonne image de notre pays.
Though the state authorities claimed Anicet was given the best of medical care, Barrister Mba Eringba says
it is not the government spokesperson to say it. A Kane's lawyer should have been able to say yes. A Kane's physicians, a Kane's doctors, that he was eating, he was taking his medications regularly. A Kane's family, children also should be the one to testify. That is what is supposed to be done.
Another heart-piercing subject was the passing away of Barrister Yondo Mandinge Black, a political figure who struggled for change in Cameroon alongside Anisade Kane, Henriette Ekwe, Professor Maurice Kamto, even Issa Chiroma Bakari.
He was the one person who stood strong to defend the former president Amadou Ahidjo. He went to prison because he was fighting for liberties in this country, for multipartism.
His wish and that of the Cameroon Bar Council is that the one-time Bar Council president be remembered by generations to come.
If the state could not do a monument of Yondo Black, the bar decided to honor him in our way. And we said we're going to create it in our gallery, and at every one moment, even after this generation goes, many other generations will come to pass and they will bow before him.
In health, malaria remains a major public health concern, particularly children who are the most affected. To fight against this pathology, a campaign was organized by the regional delegation of health in the far north region of the country. Cedric Chakutio has more.
In the North region, malaria remains a major public health challenge, particularly affecting children who are the primary victims of this disease. In 2024, malaria accounted for nearly 20% of consultations at hospitals and health facilities in the region.
Malaria in the far north region, we can say that in 2024, malaria represents 24% of consultation in our various hospitals and 12% of mortality. And we can say that the target who are more exposed to this issue was students under 5 years.
Faced with this alarming situation and the significant strain on healthcare facilities, health facilities have strengthened prevention efforts. Thus, a new public awareness campaign on malaria prevention was officially launched in Godola, Mary Subdivision, Jamare Division of the Far North region.
The particularity is the campaign that according to the figures that we have, the great challenge is to the real use of the mosquito bed nets in various householders, in various communities. That is why the particularity of this campaign is focusing in communities, people, so that we sympathize them, they can help the interest of better use of this mosquito bed net and the better use of the various package of activities that the government are putting in place to reduce and eradicate this malaria in our country.
The main objective of this campaign is to provide the population with long-lasting solutions to reduce malaria transmission and protect households, particularly children and pregnant women.
We have just now finished our 10th edition of SFC campaign, and now we have beginning the 5th campaign of distribution of mosquito bed net in the entire population of our region. And our target this year is that all the 3,055,063 mosquito bed net are being distributed for the entire population in our region, who has been estimated for more than 6 million people.
This large-scale operation, which targets all households, is part of a comprehensive strategy aimed at sustainably curbing the spread of malaria and mitigating its impact on families and the health system.
And now let's talk sports, viewers. A strong delegation of Equinoxe Television has touched down Morocco at the Mohammed V International Airport. Few days before the kickoff of the Africa Cup of Nations, the Equinox TV team was given a warm reception or welcome before the sporting jamboree by the local organizing committee. Our special envoy to Morocco is Smart Gabriel. Hello, Smart.
You're welcome to the Mohammed V Airport here in Casablanca, where the Equinoxe delegation just landed at the international airport. It was about 4 hours drive from Douala this early morning right up to Morocco. But I must tell you that immediately we arrived at the Casablanca airport, the Mohammed V airport, we were received by the local organizing committee. A lady was standing waiting for the delegation of Equinoxe that is here to cover the Africa Cup of Nations. And it should be noted, we didn't waste time for us to have our visas that enabled us to have a good stay in Morocco. It should be stated that the indomitable Lions of Cameroon are presently in Casablanca, where they are going to prepare for some few days before traveling to Agadir, where it will be the base, the venue for this year's Nations Cup. And for the Equinoxe delegation, I must tell you, we are here to give you just the best of information. Is it about the football? Is it about other side attractions? All on one package, as Equinoxe Television has landed in Morocco. Meanwhile, as the Moroccan authorities finalize on visa formalities for the Equinoxe team, the delegation was taken to the VIP lodge of the Mohammed V International Airport. There, they were served locally made tea known as damis and the Moroccan gâteau. At the Mohammed V International Airport in Casablanca, for Equinoxe News, we have Eric Floran-Watat, Smart and Gabriel on special assignment.
Interesting, Smart. The viewers are also eager to get minute-by-minute updates and reports from Morocco. Meanwhile, one of the players, Jean Onana, says they eye Morocco to put smiles on the faces of the numerous supporters back home. Jean Onana met with Equinoxe TV team at the VIP lodge of the Mohammed V International Airport. Among the players who arrived today was Dani Namaso and Simon Omosola. Smanji Gabriel once again tells us more.
The arrival at the Mohammed V International Airport continues for the indomitable Lions. At the VIP hall, the Equinoxe TV team that was already settled had the opportunity to witness the arrivals of Jean Onana and Dani Namaso. Jean Junior Onana had time to narrate to us how he traveled. I took a train and slept in Milan, from where I took a flight that brought me to Morocco. We spent 3 hours on the plane. It wasn't tiring. The hospitality here is wonderful. We have a positive thinking towards the competition, and we promise to give our best. Earlier on in the day, we had the opportunity to see the arrival of goalkeeper Omosola Simon. He was putting on a smiling face, which was an indication of his determination to stay in Morocco for a longer period. At the VIP hall, we had the opportunity to chat with some players of Gabon who also arrived in Morocco to join the other team members already in town. Gabon, should be recalled, is in the same group of Cameroon.
Courage to you all over there in Morocco. And viewers, let's now move on to the second part of the news. Welcome, viewers. Our guest tonight is Dr. NGWAYAM. He is a civil society actor. Thank you so much, Doctor, for accepting to be our guest on the news this evening. Now, this is the end of year period, and road accidents have been somehow recurrent on highways across the national territory. We know that of Tico, in which at least 8 people perished in Likumba. That was on Friday, and after a fuel tanker exploded. This weekend in Babsam, 5 persons died in another road accident, and this morning 2 persons also died in Bomono. We saw it in the news after their bike ran into a truck. Dr. NGWAYAM, can we say the roads are thirsty for blood during the end of year period? What do you think can be some of the reasons behind frequent road accidents, especially in the month of December?
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be with you, and Merry Christmas.
Yes, I like what you are saying, especially in the month of December. Let us say that road accidents are caused by many factors. Let's say the causes are multifactorial. That means we can look at the roads, we can look at the drivers, we can look at the state of the car, we can look at government regulation, we can look at the other road users. You know, we're talking of pedestrians, bikers, cattle, sheep, goats, and hens, just about everybody. And then the weather, the vegetation, visibility, all sorts of things put together. But that said, the character, the vegetation, the roads, and so on, what was I saying? I'm saying that the condition of the road, the weather, and many of those things don't change. They're kind of like fixed. And what changes in December is the character or the behavior of the human person. So we can now say that if at all we are having issues of a lot of accidents, more than usual, that we see in December, then we can say the frequency has gone up because of the indiscipline of the drivers, indiscipline of other road users, and indiscipline of just above anybody who is on the road. So indiscipline is a key factor. So that said, let's look at the different things that contribute to our poor roads. We have poor road usage. We have seen that the roads in Cameroon are very bad. But interestingly, sometimes when the roads are very bad, the accidents are less. Yeah, I mean, I come from an area that had very difficult roads. You know, areas like Nous and so on, Jikwa and so on. They have very difficult roads. They struggle, and so when the roads are very bad, the cars are very slow. The cars, they pick their way through the very bad roads. So technically, yes, they would have accidents. They would have accidents because a car fell in a ditch that they couldn't see. A car lost brakes or something, you know. But you would also know that, you know, we have 60 kilometers of a very good road that is leaving from Corbison, Yaoundé, coming to Bomniobel or something like that. You know, the 60 kilometers of road that has been newly built by the Chinese, which is part of the road that is supposed to, the new road that is supposed to link Yaoundé and Douala. And because the road is so good, the speed limits are there, everything is there, but Cameroonians, you have to see the number of car crashes we've had on that road because people suffer from indiscipline, and I don't know whether they get excited when they see a new road. They just go, they just pump out the fuel, and the cars are racing like crazy. So when they crash, nobody comes out.
Now, Doc, what about sensitization or education and training of drivers who ply into urban highways particularly? Shouldn't that be greatly taken into consideration too?
What you are saying is right, but you know, a moment ago you just mentioned interurban transportation, and as you were speaking, I was thinking of the Yaoundé-Douala road, which is number one, very tiny. It was not built for this season. It was built for the 1980s. It's not a road of today. So look at it this way: you and I are driving to Yaoundé from Douala, and you know, you can see the two lanes that are going to Yaoundé. What if on the other side of the road there were the other two lanes traveling from Yaoundé to Douala? You see already by how much we cut the accidents. A moment ago you said it was about issue of a car running into each other. Why are cars running into each other? Because the road is very tiny, it's very thin, and then sometimes, you know, you are trying to overtake and a car just swerves over and you can smash it. I've been driving on that road a lot, and you need to be very, very attentive. I think that road is a death trap, and in as much as we blame drivers, we have to say that, you know, as a nation we have to sit up and get better roads. Granted, you know, the other day I was actually riding on that road and I was asking myself the question, what exactly can we do to improve on the condition of the Yaoundé-Douala road at short notice and at long term? At long term, of course, would be that long term, you know, in quotes, would be that we should finish building the new Yaoundé-Douala road, finish it and build it so that we can use it. At short term, what should we do? We go to the old road and make sure that we fill all the potholes and cracks in the road all the time so that we don't have all those little potholes on the road. You know, they cause a lot of accidents in themselves. And then during the I think there was some CAN, was it something CAN or some football something in Cameroon? You know, I also noticed that, you know, they are deployed a lot of caterpillars too, and those caterpillars, they cleared the grass and the trees about 5-10 meters off the road so that the visibility was good. I don't know why we do things to please others. Why is something good? Why don't we continue to do that? What am I saying? We divide the road into sections and give these our young children who have no work, caterpillars, to go in there, you know, and do a deblayage, clean the, you know what I mean? Clean 5 or 10 meters off this way, 5 or 10 meters off this way, so that though you are riding on a thin road, you can be able to see, you know, the visibility is stretched. You can see further, you know, than coming around a thick bush and then just be faced with a truck. So we need, there are little things that we can do to save ourselves a lot of trouble. And then you would have noticed too that there are these road signals, the signage, these road signals. Many of them are in the bush, in the grass. You don't see them. I remember one time when I was driving from Yaoundé to Bamenda, and the speed limit was, I think it was 80 kilometers an hour, but I didn't see the signboards limiting the speed was behind some elephant grass. I couldn't see it, and the gendarme stopped me, and I think I was going at 82 or 83, and they made me pay 25,000. When I asked them where it was, they said it was in the bush. They themselves told me it was in the bush. I mean, I'm surprised. Why do you nail somebody when the signage is not good? So we need to make sure that, you know, we do things properly. In fact, I think we suffer very much more out of indiscipline and ignorance and irresponsibility than anything else. We can decide that we need to reduce all these accidents and trauma that is happening to us in one way or the other. You know, probably we don't bother about it because it's happening to someone else, but it could be us.
Now, Dr. NGWAYAM, let's talk about first aid. In the case of the Tico fuel tanker explosion, we noticed that many lives were lost because first aid came in late. Don't you also think efforts of firefighters or firefighting brigades and other first assistants needs to be looked into and urgently?
Yes, when we're talking about first aid, I think you make a point there. And first aid is not something that is taught only to some people. First aid is something that, just like we are talking about road usage, first aid is something that we need to teach the whole population. Because when the accident is happening somewhere in the back street, somewhere in some village place, you're not going to wait and ask for someone who was trained in first aid, who was in the town, to come. Which means that first aid, that first response, is something that we should teach. People would understand it to different degrees and capacities, but it's something that we ought to be teaching people. You know, I think, and if we make it, you know, a must in schools, you know, where schools beginning from primary school, secondary school, and universities, they learn this, and then people, you know, people who have njangis and so on, you come to a njangi, you discuss first aid first, and before you start drinking, you know, like. In all homes, like for instance, you've heard about, you know, people are eating, let's say in a party or something, you are trying to swallow a piece of meat and it goes into your windpipe, it can kill you. So what people who are sitting there around with you, what should they do to save you? So first aid is something that is very important, and I think we should take it up and make it a serious business. One other thing too that we need to say is this issue of social media. When there's an accident, people come up with phones and are snapping and are videoing, but not trying to offer the help. But you know, sometimes you can't really blame people, because you ought to know what to do. Just because someone has an accident, you cannot just jump there and try to help when you don't know what you're doing. Sometimes you can even cause more problems. And you notice with the accident in Lukumba recently with the tanker and the fire, there was the fire and this tanker is burning, and you don't know how, again, it comes to the understanding of physics and chemistry and so on. This thing is heating up. It's a timed bomb. You notice that in the course of things, it exploded again and everybody was running. Everybody kind of like gathered there and were watching it like some cinema, and more of the fuel was boiling inside the tank, which exploded. That explosion could have killed more people. Why? Because you just came and congregated there, and then sometimes you even make rescue operations even more difficult.
Dr. NGWAYAM, recently the Minister for Transport communicated on road safety measures during this festive period. He called on road users to be vigilant while using the road. Is that enough to reduce road accidents on highways across the country?
The problem with our governance in Cameroon is communicate and just talk. You know, just because you sit in an office and issue a communique doesn't mean you have done your job. You see, he had the whole year to be doing and to be sensitizing the public. You had a whole year to be sensitizing the public. You know, like we said, teach them on physics, teach them that. But when they say they're sensitizing the public, it's more often than not, you know, you've seen those guys with some yellow these things that come on the road, and they're more interested in collecting money from you than anything else. They want to see if you have a fire extinguisher, or they want to see how they nail you in one way or the other and collect money out of you. So we are not doing the right things. We are living the real thing and are chasing the shadows. You know, and when you just send out people on the road to do whatever controls, they are more interested in making money than solving the problem. And so we need to look at that and make sure that we are doing things the right way. Otherwise, we'll keep repeating the same thing, and 100 years down the road, we still will not have changed. So we need to really make sure that we are actually training people to be able to deal with the issues we have identified, and make sure that when somebody is going to run into an accident, he should know why he's running into an accident, because he beat one of the laws of physics. Physics laws, if you transgress the laws of physics, you pay the price. That's how it works. You cannot transgress the laws of physics and get away with that without earning your salary. So let us know that if you drink and drive, you are heading into problems. Oh, by the way, probably I was going to mention one of the most important things: drinking and driving. It's crazy. You know, we drink a lot of alcohol, and you know, you were just mentioning motorcycles a moment ago. With those that are sachet whiskey, I don't know why the government has not banned those sachet whiskies. You know, what is your problem? Ban those sachet whiskies. Why let children get drunk and go onto those powerful machines and are causing accidents? They just run with those things. They don't know about their brakes. They don't understand the braking principles. So by the time they're hitting the truck, there's very little they can do about it, because they don't even understand what they are doing. So you just have these boys that come from the village, jump on these powerful machines. As long as they can throttle it and it goes, they just go. They don't know about the highway code. They know nothing. And so we need to get to a place where we need to start putting order through these things by training, by follow-up, by monitoring, by, you know, build a sense of responsibility in every citizen.
Now, Doc, before we go, if you are invited to speak to road users, be they drivers, passengers, pedestrians, what advice will you give them so as to save lives or reduce the number of lives lost on highways?
And don't speed. It's better to go slowly and get to your destination than try to speed and get to nowhere. Like you would have noticed, like we were talking about speeding not long ago, a lot of these young people who are speeding with cars, actually they are speeding to nowhere. It's just that they are full of adrenaline and they're just showing off. And they would speed, and sometimes some stupid things happen. You will be speeding from Yaoundé and doing some dirty maneuvers. Then when you get to Village, the traffic holds you. Somebody who left and was speeding and doing some funny things on the road, you come and still meet him in Village because there's a traffic jam there. So sometimes you realize that you are exposing your life to those risks for no good reason. And the question again, even if when you speed and then you gain 30 minutes, what do you do with the 30 minutes? They will rush and come and sit and be drinking beer. They don't do anything useful with it.
Thank you so much, Dr. NGWAYAM, for accepting to be our guest on the news. Thank you so much for your contribution on how we can together reduce the amount or the level of bloodshed on our highways. And Doc, hope to have you some other time. Viewers, that was what we put together for you this evening on this edition of the news. Our programs continue. Equinox will be yours at 7 p.m. and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. And like you already saw, our reporters, our team, they are already in Morocco, and they will be bringing to you minute by minute information on what is happening concerning the AFCON in news editions on Equinox Television. Bye-bye for now, and we will be again tomorrow, same time.